Sanjay, how about over at SBA? You all sort of had a double whammy over the last 18 months. Not only did you have to sort of roll over into a remote response, obviously SBA had to right in the middle of enabling the economy of this great country. So tell us about what you're doing over there, what you had been doing, and how that aligns to strategically where SBA is going.
Good afternoon, Luke, and thank you for having me here. And yes, definitely, as most all of you in the audience probably know, SBA has been one of the core agencies leading the response for the nation's largest ever economic recovery initiative. And it's just been an incredible last 15 months, and it continues, by the way. But let me kind of give some couple of specific examples of how some of the innovations that we had put in place came to use to our mission, and some of those are still continuing to be developed further. So as you may remember, Luke, back in 2017, I led the cloud initiative for the SBA, led the solid foundation. And quite frankly, that has been immensely useful and beneficial for SBA to scale up almost overnight in an exponential fashion. And just to sort of give a compare contrast, typical year, SBA does $25 to $30 billion of loan and capital processing. In the last year plus now, we have processed nearly $1 trillion in capital, and that continues on. So you can sort of do the math and figure out what the exponential scaling we needed to do overnight. And cloud, quite frankly, had we not had established that cloud foundation back in 2017 and the cybersecurity as well, I just shudder to think what the outcomes might have been. Secondly, we're also leveraging new capabilities that are enabled by that cloud foundation. So specifically, 2 or 3 areas. Obviously, cybersecurity, and we've talked about that in the past, how we've enabled cloud-based cybersecurity. But I'll talk about AI and ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities. We have increasingly utilized artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities, specifically things like anomaly detection, things like natural language processing, things like using algorithm-based decision support systems. And those have been all very beneficial for us in the critical time that we've had to scale up in unimaginable ways over the last year and a half plus. Further, we've also continued to build on a zero trust architecture foundation. Again, as we've talked in the past, back in 2019, I led the CDM, or the Continuous Diagnostics and Mitigation 90-day modernization effort with the DHS CDM program. And that's when we had uncovered some of the issues around the core for zero trust, which is identity. And so let me just give a very quick example around what the issues we were grappling with together back in 2019 is identity around individuals. Obviously, that's a kind of a clear element, but there's also identity around the IT assets. And specifically in the cloud world, you have your IT assets or virtual machines that are probably ephemeral. And so there was not really a cloud model for identifying uniquely those virtual assets. So back then, when I led this initiative, working with the CDM program team, we defined the model for uniquely identifying all cloud-based virtual machine identifications. And so that foundation we've continued to build on, and we hope to continue to accelerate some of the implementation of those solutions as we go forward.